Ladies and gentlemen, he was part of the dream team. Kiss 100, tick. BBC Radio 1, tick. Rinse FM, tick. He's strong, but he was on the weakest link, tick. Men's health, six-pack. We've seen the six-pack behind closed doors as well, tick. What else can I say? Resident DJ for twice as nice, tick. Legendary doesn't even begin to describe who you've got on today. People, not only have we got the main man, we've even gone live on time. How about that? How about that, people? No one in the comments has said, oh, you're running late today. No, we said 7. You got 7 p.m. on the dot. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the one and only, the legendary DJ Spoony and superb Liverpool fan. Spoony, welcome to the show. How you doing?
That was one of the biggest and best welcomes I've ever had in my life.
I try.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolute pleasure to be spending part of the evening with such devout Liverpool fans.
Thank you, man. Thank you. The pleasure's all ours. Drift, Matt, how you guys doing? Sorry, Drift, is that a fresh top I see? Is that a fresh top I see?
You know. I could go with the Allison drip today. You know what I'm saying?
Drip. I love that.
Looking clean.
I got my championship one through the post this morning. You know, basically the one you got, Cal, but now it's got the championship badge on it.
All right, don't rub it in, bro.
For real, man's rubbing it in with the Champions League.
Them little slide things there.
I'll be on the next show.
I'll be honest. So me and Drift were speaking. Was it last week when you were ordering the shirts, innit? And obviously everyone knows I've got quite a big shirt collection, and I was like, I'm not going to buy any more shirts until the next season. Drift talked me into it. Long story short, I actually tried to get the shirt and they're sold out in my size. They've only got small. And
bro,
I'll be honest,
I'm not going to lie. I knew it, bro. I knew it, and I didn't want to tell you. I went to check, and when I saw larges ran out, I thought, he's going to be pissed. Oh, my day.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I might just have to get the small and just holding the belly and all that, and just deal with the consequences and the stares I get on the street when people are like, "Oh, that's a bit tight on him," innit? Just have to ride it out. But yeah, Matt, how are you doing, bro?
I'm blessed, man. Obviously, I'm not as dripped out as you, man. I've got a 17-18 shirt. You get me? But this is where it all started. You get me? This is the clock thing for me, bro, when it started, bro.
Indeed. So, Spoony, the first question we like to ask all of our guests is, what is the one thing you think you took for granted before lockdown that you won't take for granted once lockdown is completely lifted?
I mean, the main change to my life has been not being able to DJ in a club, if I'm completely honest with you. Everything else I've kind of kept moving to a degree, various and varying levels, but yeah, there's been no club work. And even though I've been doing some streams at home, it's not been the same as looking in the whites of people's eyes,
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I think I can imagine. I've never DJ'd, and I think I struggle to. Well, I see it's worked out well for you. I don't think I'm very good at mixing songs, so I don't think it could work out too well for me. But obviously we've got to start with the fact that we're champions, like 19 times. It's finally happened after 30 years. Not only did it happened on your birthday. What a special day. How did you feel when Chelsea secured it for us? I'm joking, Drift. I'm joking.
It was a weird one, right? Because it suddenly, obviously, we had to do our business against Crystal Palace, and then it just occurred that Chelsea can get something against Man City at home. They absolutely can. And then, even though it was my birthday and I'm distracted, I went out on my bike and eating cake and opening cards and presents. I was thinking, we can actually win the league on my 50th birthday, and was just trying to contain the excitement. It's like being 8 and on Christmas Eve again. That's what it was like. But yeah, it was fantastic. Obviously, we deserved it. It's been delayed, but like I said to Drifty, I wasn't in much doubt that we would get it done, because there's too many ramifications if they just cancelled the Premier League season. And if I'm completely honest, all of the managers were like, Liverpool deserve to have their title. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, bring it on.
Indeed. So, I also want to put you on the spot a little bit here. So, you just told everyone your age. So, and I'll be honest, you look very good for it.
Okay.
You look very good for it. So, obviously, you are old enough to remember vividly the last time you won the league. Before this one, obviously, did you think it would be 30 years before we next won it? And sort of, what's your sort of memories of that last title winning team?
You know, the thing is, we were so dominant around that time, and you know, but for Heysel and the European ban, I think we would have had, you know, almost double figures in Champions League wins as well. And I know it's a tragedy, and I'm not saying that, you know, what went on in the ban, whether the ban was justified or not, that's not the point. But we were so dominant in European football at the time. So winning another league title, you know, it happened plenty of times. I saw it happen all the time. From when Kenny Dalglish joined us, 77, when I actually started supporting the club. You know, John Barnes came in 81, and we were just picking up trophy after trophy, doing the double as well. So, but to go think it was going to be 30 years, that was absolutely not on my radar because I wasn't used to it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, for us three growing up, I mean, speaking for myself, like it was weird sort of going to school and college and uni with Man United and Arsenal fans, and all I'm hearing is like, you have never won that Prem. So I mean, Drift, obviously it's been a couple of what has it been, almost 2 weeks now since we secured it. Is that feeling still a feeling of sort of, how can I put it, relief or overjoy? What's that feeling now?
I think the relief feeling left me a little while ago, because obviously there was a point where I knew we were going to win it before the lockdown happened. So kind of relief was starting to kick in at that point. Then obviously the lockdown happened, and then stress started happening because are they going to take this from us kind of thing. So I think once the league started up again, it was more kind of, I was just anxious for the actual moment. I was like, all right, they're thinking a second spike could even come now. What if we don't win and then we lose to City and then we have to beat Villa? You know what else? I just wanted it done as soon as possible. Do you get what I mean? But the joy ain't leaving. I don't know when the joy will leave. I still think about 2005 sometimes. Are you mad? I don't think the joy is going to leave, to be honest. So to be honest with you, in terms of like the elation, yeah, I don't wake up every morning now and think, oh, we're champions like I did for the first couple nights when it first happened. But at some point during every day, I remember. It doesn't matter what it is. I remember at some point, a big smile comes on my face, and people around me probably think I'm weird. My family already know what it is. Do you know how many times my brother's like, are you still going on about that? I'm like, shut up, man.
Yes.
Of course I am. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and obviously now what everyone's trying to do now is the whole, it's the COVID title. When you lot won it, it was a crap win and all that stuff. And now I'm just, you're fueling the fire. Bring it on. Look how much it's bothering you lot. Why is it still bothering you lot? You know what I mean? So I don't think it'll ever go away, bro. I don't think it will. Unless we do like 5 in a row, then maybe I'll stop thinking about this one. I'll be thinking about the other ones. But yeah.
I mean, the other thing, just to add on to that, Drifty, right? If anyone ever says to you it's the COVID title, just remind them of how many points we were clear come March when COVID struck. No one's ever done that before. So it's almost like we could have just taken a nap and said, maybe we don't even play no more games between now and the end of the season. Let you come and catch up. It was almost like that.
Yeah. Look at City. City just lost to Chelsea and they lost to Southampton. We didn't even need to play another game to be champions. So
that's actually a fact. So we're currently on 82 points, I believe. The most City can get for the rest of the season is 81 points. So no, sorry, we were on 82 points when the COVID pandemic started, and the most they can do now is 81 points. So we could have just stayed away. We could have just left it and just say the cigar,
cigar thing, bro.
So Matt, same question to you. Is it a feeling of overjoy, elation, or relief?
Do you know what? For me, it's still overjoy because I kind of knew the title was wrapped up from when we probably beat Leicester, in my opinion, when we hammered them 4-0. That for me was like, nah, do you know what? This title's wrapped up. And I know we still had loads of games to play, but we were just so clear of everyone. Like, let me put you in this perspective, yeah? The big bad Man City, who have been amazing for the last how many seasons, yeah? At one point, we were how many points ahead of them? Was it like 20, was it 25 points up?
25.
Yeah. And had a game in hand. Yeah.
And then a game in hand. Like, that's ridiculous. You got to remember something. City spent how much money on their whole squad compared to us, yeah? And this is why when I say again, Jurgen Klopp, for me, is the best coach in the world, yeah? We don't have a budget like City, but what Klopp does is he identifies the players at decent fees and he turns them into world beaters. No one can't talk to us right now. Every day I wake up, I'm just like, we're champions, you know, we're champions. When I go on Twitter, I might just put out something and say, you know, we're champions, innit? Just got to remind people, because remember, as you said, when we were going college and school and whatnot, we had to put up with all the Mancs, all the Arsenal fans. And what's so funny is now, yeah, and I'm sure you lot can all agree, all the Arsenal fans, all they talk about is, oh, you didn't go unbeaten for the whole season, blah, blah. They're talking about their invincible season that they had, yeah. What was it, 2003, 2004, yeah? Bro, they love to say that we talk about history. Look at them now. That's what they cling on to. That's the only thing that they can cling on to, you know? Like the only thing.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. And just to end off quickly, I think winning it in this whole pandemic is even harder, because you got to think about it. A world pandemic, you know, no one foresaw it. And for the players to come back in and do what they've done is a testament to them. So it's obviously sad, and it's a sad 2020. But in terms of football, and if you're a Liverpool fan, bro, enjoy it while you can, because we deserved it.
Matt, you put that perfectly. I mean, I've not been humble one bit about it. I mean, all the people over the years who give me stick, they'll randomly, if I'm up at 1 a.m, they may just get a WhatsApp message just about the title and all that. Because I've had to live with it. I've had to live with it for 30 years. It's now my time, isn't it?
You see this book, right?
Yeah.
I wrote down names of people that were giving me stick. And when every time I got one of them messages, whether it is in one of my group forums, I say, all right, and I just put their name down and systematically gone and sent them all a message. Do you know what I mean? Right, you're telling me rubbish. Just Sata, my God.
Spoony, that's a big book, you know.
Yeah. But I use this. I use this book for a few things, but it is the black book. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah. Book's way
too,
man.
So Spoony, earlier you mentioned about the earlier Liverpool teams being so dominant. The question is now, after we've secured this league title, do you now think we can go on and become dominant in this league and pick up more Premier Leagues?
I think it's very competitive. I think the era of teams just going and winning it 4 out of 5 years, 5 out of 6 years. I mean, Manchester City, we have to say they have been truly phenomenal. To have 198 points in 2 campaigns, I say they are the best Premier League team that I've seen. I don't care whether or not Arsenal went unbeaten. They drew too many games to be heralded as great as Manchester City. And Manchester City did it over 2 seasons. So for us to get that close to them, and we're standing on the verge now of actually eclipsing that 198 points over 2 campaigns, I think this Liverpool team need an awful lot of credit. Can they go on and dominate over 4 or 5 years? I don't know. Will we be in the reckoning next season? 100%. People will look at us as the team to beat, because we have finished so far ahead of everybody else. And the gap might even get bigger. Who knows, between now and the end of the season? Do you know what I mean? So at least on paper, we've got games that we should win. But it's going to be a difficult one. But with this manager at the helm, anything is possible.
Yeah, fully agree. I mean, I've already said my next child I'm going to name Jurgen, whether it's a boy or a girl. So, you know, it is what it is. Drift, sorry, Matt, in fact, I'll come to you, Matt. Do you think we can go on to dominate for the next couple of years?
I have to kind of agree, Spoony. I think the Premier League over the years has just gotten a lot stronger. Every team now, you look at the top 6, the so-called top 6, like you look at, you know, the teams that people have now got, it's way more, you know, advanced than what it was back in the day when, obviously, as I said before, we had the Man United, the Arsenal, and even that kind of like the Chelsea era kind of thing as well. You didn't have 4 or 5 teams back then. I I think with Liverpool as well, I think it comes down to this. And this is where it could get a little bit deep, but I think it comes down to FSG. And I think if FSG are willing to give Klopp the tools that he needs, then I think it's a good possibility. But I think if Klopp has to kind of deal with the resources that we've had in the last couple of seasons, or we haven't brought in a big signing, or we just haven't spent a lot in the transfer window, we might struggle. But the talent is there. As Spoony said, I think we'll be there or thereabouts. But I think Man City are going to come back stronger. Man United are obviously going to blatantly look stronger. Chelsea, look at the signings that they've made. So it's going to be tough. But again, for me, it comes down to FSG. And if Klopp gets that financial backing, then I think we've got a good chance.
Your thoughts, Drift?
Yeah, this is a weird one for me because, as you lot know, I'm always the one who's pessimistic.
Don't do the air quotes. You are, bro.
Yeah, you are. That's what I was gonna say.
No, it's called being realistic, not pessimistic. Yeah.
No. I'm gonna stop you there, Drift. When Spoony, when the pandemic happened, yeah, if you were in our WhatsApp group, voice notes were like, this were the voice notes we were getting. You know it's done, innit? You know it's done, and if it's done, expect flames from me because we ain't getting this title. Me and Matt were just like,
you know what would have happened? Yeah, he would have been in there. he would have been in that book. You know, I've had to in the past. I've had to leave a couple of Liverpool WhatsApp groups because they were just too negative. And I'm like, I'm getting less stick from Manchester United and Arsenal fans than arguments with my own Liverpool fans. It's meant to be a group of positivity. But anyway, Drift, I'm going to leave you in your hole. Go on, it's your turn.
You know what it is, though, yeah? It's all the years of hurt, innit? And it's like it builds up. Because obviously, you lot know me in real life. I don't act like this with any other element of my life. It's like football's the only thing that gets me like that. So for me, I want to just revel in this for the summertime and just enjoy what we have. Going into the next season, we're obviously the favourites. Anyone who wins the league should naturally just be favourites. I think maybe Leicester are probably the only team I can maybe think of where they weren't like obvious favourites for the following season after winning the title. But generally speaking, I think you would always kind of go, all right, well, they did well. They're the people to catch kind of thing. So I definitely think we're capable, obviously, but I'm just trying to get used to this now. Like I said, like maybe other people are adapting quicker to, okay, we are actually the best. And when I say the best, I mean, we're really the best, as in I shouldn't even be that worried anymore. That I'm trying to get used to that feeling, but it's difficult. You know what I mean? So I'll admit it's going to take me a bit of time, but I will try and get to the levels that you lot are on where you lot are just like, yeah, of course we're going to win this game. A little bit like Cal was before the City game when he said we're going to smoke them 3 or 4-0. You know what I mean? Like, but look how it comes back and bites you in the arse. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, if we don't win it, I will be disappointed though. I'll say because we're good enough to win it. I think Klopp is smart enough to know what to do to win it again. But as we've spoken about loads of times, and I don't want to get into the transfer talk now, but I do believe 1 or 2 players need to come in to fresh things up, to just keep everybody on their toes, give everybody something new, enthusiasm, do you know what I mean, for the season. I don't want to bring him up because he's a Man United player now, but you look at what Bruno has done at Man United, and it shows how much just one signing can all of a sudden make everybody feel better. So if we get a great signing through the door when we're already feeling as good as we are, it could take us out the stratosphere, how good we feel and perform. So I kind of feel like it is important that we add. And then I think after the transfer window is when I'll start giving you the will we win it, won't we win it, how well will we do, and all that kind of stuff. But I do need to see 1 or 2 fresh faces, especially at left back, just so that I can feel like there's no obstacles that can get in our way to stop us doing another hard graft season of what we just done.
I mean, the thing is, with Bruno at Manchester United has stood out because they were in such a bad place. And you know, when you're hungry, even like one chip tastes like heaven, right? And I think that's the position.
Man said one chip, you know.
He said no sauce.
And that's where I think that's where Manchester United was. But when you look at the Liverpool squad as it is, we're very balanced. I think Jurgen Klopp has a lot of faith and confidence in the young players that he's got coming in, and I don't think it's a how much money we're going to spend. It's just the right acquisitions, because what Jurgen Klopp and Michael Edwards have demonstrated is that if they have to spend the top money on the absolute best, a la Alisson and Van Dijk, they will. But then they also show how shrewd they can be in the transfer market with Salah, with Mane, with Andrew Robertson, with Fabinho, that you look at all of these players and you say, well, Salah, Mane around the £35 million mark that we brought them in for, they're 120, 130, 140, 50 million pound players, whatever the number is. Maybe post-COVID, it might be slightly different. Andrew Robertson, £8 million we paid for him. Most people would go, what? Who? We don't need that. £8 million. He can't be all of that. He's not about it. Well, how much do you think Andrew Robertson would go for if he was going to be sold now? So my point is, it's not about spending loads. It's just about getting the right players in. I'd love us to have a really creative midfielder like Thiago. He would be fantastic. But listen, I have total faith and trust in Jurgen and Michael Edwards. If they tell me turn left, I'm going to turn left. If they tell me to jump up and down holding my nose, I'm going to do the same thing, because I've got no right to question anything that they are doing. And this has been going back a few years, you know, back-to-back Champions League finals, contested the Premier League back-to-back, 97 points. I don't know what we're going to get this season. I can't stand up and say, you lot need to do this and you lot need to do that. They know exactly what they should be doing.
Spoony, let me quickly ask. Sorry.
Spoony, let me quickly read out the super chat and then I'll come back to you, Matt.
Yeah.
So, Brother O Samson, thank you very much for your super chat, and likewise, anyone else who wants to ask a question, have it definitely read out, do just drop us a super chat. We need at least 4 signings and quick, no long thing. Go on, Matt, what were you going to say?
Yeah, no, Spoony, what I was going to say to you is, I agree with that, with what you just said. It's not necessarily about how much you spend, it's about the right players, yeah? But do you think we missed a trick with Timo Werner? Because obviously we were linked with him hard. It looked like he was the guy that was going to come in and sort of like challenge the top 3 up, obviously up front. But FSG obviously decided, nah, do you know what? 50 million is too much, yeah? Whereas a lot of Liverpool fans, even myself, will say to you, okay, 50 million is a lot of money potentially in this obviously pandemic. But then you think about, you know, the money that we've made over the last 3 to 4 seasons. Do you not think Liverpool could have pushed the boat out a little bit to get that type of player? Or do you still feel like, nah, do you know what? If we're not going for him, I'm cool with that.
So, you know, I've seen him play. He's a very exciting player. I would love to have seen him in the red of Liverpool. Without sounding too much like a brown nose and going too much trust into Jurgen and Michael Edwards. But it's not just the £50 million on the transfer fee, Matt. They might have had to consider what they're going to give him in wages, because if he was able to command 200 grand a week, for argument's sake, Michael Edwards then has to look at what he's going to give Salah. Is Firmino then going to want a wage rise? Mane's definitely going to be due a wage rise. Then what about Trent? And what about Virgil? So suddenly that 200 grand a week on that one player, now you might have to be giving, I don't know how much it would come as a total. I don't know exactly what Sadio is on or what Trent is on. But if Trent turns around and he says, I want 180 a week, why would you argue? Because if you went and got David Alaba from Bayern Munich, you would have to give him 180 grand minimum. Sure. And for what Trent has delivered, so it's not just the transfer fee that we've got to consider. It's the wages and then the structure and how that affects the dynamic behind him. And then he might turn around and go, you know what, Harvey Elliott, if we bring in Timo Werner, it's going to send Harvey Elliott's development back. Next season, I might want to play him 15 times or 20 times. If I bring in Timo Werner, I'm not going to get a chance to do that with Harvey Elliott. The other thing is they might have their eye on someone else, for all we know. And what we do know is that they move like bad man in silence. Them two. Next thing you know, there's a signing. Like you said last time, Drifty. You know, we lost the Champions League final, then we signed Fabinho. It was like, where did that come from? That's how they like to move. So true. I have 100% faith in what they're doing and how they're doing it. Leave it to them.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I see it on both sides, but I see where you're all coming from. A couple people in the chat are saying that the New Balance store in Oxford Street still have shirts. Maybe I might have to take a little trip up there and just check out the merch, you know, check out the
That must be
merchandise.
selling quick though. That must be going real quick.
Yeah, I may have to make a trip up there before the weekend. Who knows how the week will go? We'll see. But Spoony, you mentioned a few players there about wages and etc. And sort of what they've done in a Liverpool shirt in the last couple of years. So I just want to ask you, all of us in this room here kind of got a favourite player that we like the most. Who is your favourite current Liverpool player and why?
I mean,
he's already rubbing his head.
it's like asking a DJ what's your favourite record. You know, it's not an impossible. What I will say is, I mean, and again, that as much as I think Mane has got better and better and better every season since he's been with us, that what has made us champions, what has made us different is Virgil van Dijk. I think the importance of him at the heart of that defence, what he does psychologically to the strikers, we look unbeatable. I remember watching our team thinking, please don't cross the ball. Because anytime the ball went into our box over 5 or 10, I would get anxiety. Like I'm not a person who suffers from anxiety, but we've had some centre halves, and I don't want to check anyone, but anytime the ball went into our box with any height, I was like, we're going to concede. Anytime they got a corner, we're going to concede. Where now I'm like, cross it all day long, because there's one man putting his head on that team. Bam! Send that back to the halfway line. So for me, the importance that he's had, and not just his performances, but the way that Trent has developed, the way that Joe Gomez has developed, how different Andrew Robertson looks on the other side. Obviously, Alisson came with a world-class reputation. So I have to give it to Virgil just on the strength of what he has done for the team. I think he's like our captain without an armband.
It's a great shout. Obviously, everyone in the chat knows who our favourite players are. We'll just go around the circle. Matt, who's your favourite player?
I mean, I don't have a favourite as such, but you know, like if there's one guy I'm gonna back, obviously it's hashtag Naby, innit? Hashtag Naby things all day, bro. That's my guy, innit? So
Drift.
Yes, it's Sadio, man. It's a no-brainer for me. Obviously, you lot know I've got that captain love all day long.
Yeah, we love
Genie. Genie comes in at a close second. I love Genie. If they don't get that contract signed, you will see me kicking off. But yeah, Sadio, that's my guy, man.
And obviously, you guys know about me.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is, like, I could make an argument for every single one of those players that you've all mentioned. There's no doubt about it that we just have a brilliant team that is perfectly balanced at the moment.
No,
I could make an argument for Naby. I said about us finding a creative central midfield player. We might already have him in Naby Keita. If he can get 10, 15 games back to back, then we don't need another one of those players, because we do look different when he is on the park. We do look different. But then if you said to me, could you imagine Liverpool without the energy of Genie or the calmness of Jordan Henderson? I then start scratching my head and going, these are all very different. Or how different Salah and Mane look when Firmino ain't playing. So I can make an argument for all of them. I genuinely could. But I do believe that, as brilliant as everyone is, if Virgil's not in that team, I think the opponents look and go, we can get at that lot today. Whereas when he's in the team, they go, we're up against it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I just think if I'm a striker, I mean, Drift used to play striker when you were younger. Virgil's almost the worst nightmare if you're a striker, isn't he? Because what can you really do to him? You're not going to out-muscle him. You're not going to out-jump him. You're not going to rattle him. You're not going to outpace him. Barring you taking a shotgun on the pitch, there's nothing you can do.
It's true. I mean, obviously, you get different types of strikers, innit? So, you know, it depends what type of striker you are. I was a rapid, always hit the target striker, so I didn't have the flair and the guile and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what, you know what? It's mad. I actually watch Vardy now and I'm like, that was me. Like, that was what I was like. So, to be honest with you, I pretty much never ever met my match for pace. And obviously, I'm not bragging. Like, I'm done out here now, innit? But when I was a sprightly young boy, nobody could match me for pace. So, if there was ever that one player that could keep up with me, it almost rattled me because I just couldn't believe somebody could keep up with me. I'll be like, what? Hold on a minute. So I can't imagine what Adama Traore felt like that time when he got bodied by Virgil, who kept up with him. He must have thought, hold on, what?
Yeah, and just moved him.
How did that happen? Because there's two things no one does to Adama. You don't outpace him and you don't outstrength him. And Virgil did both. So but you see it. Virgil doesn't get, like, as I said before, every single world-class defender I can remember, from Nesta to Cannavaro to Yapstam to Rio Ferdinand, like just every single one you can think of, the best there ever was. They all had strikers who still took them on and believed that they could beat them and get past them and score goals. And every single striker now sees this Virgil and just gets rid of responsibility. It's not my job to get past them. Here, someone else try and do it. I've never seen that level of intimidation before in my life.
Yeah, it's hot potato with Virgil. It's hot potato.
It's crazy, man.
And imagine when you look at tactically the opponents have to set up, they're going to say, well, it don't make sense getting wide and crossing the ball because it's going to head everything away. Liverpool play high at the pitch and they can press into the opponent's half. So they do leave room behind. But you go, well, even if we try and play them on a break, they are quick enough to get back. You're not going to beat them in the air straight down the middle. So you're then changing the way that you have to play. And once you can have your opponents doing that, you're in their head. That's a major part of the battle at that very elite level of football. And I think that's what Virgil van Dijk does. I think every striker looks at him and goes, if you're Harry Kane, you go, how do I beat him? And how do I do him? If you're Rashford or if you're Martial, what have I got that he hasn't? It's very difficult for them guys. It's very difficult. And he's not perfect, but he's as close to perfect as I've seen wearing a red shirt or playing in the Premier League for many years.
Yeah, definitely agree. Just got a super chat here from Kai Lewis. So Matt and Drifty need to swap hats. I think he wants you guys matching. So Matt should be wearing the red hat with the red kit, and then Drifty should be wearing a black hat with the.
I do need to get a black one to go with this. I'm not gonna lie.
I need to get a red one as well. Still, I can't even lie, bro.
Mate, I might just dye my hair because obviously I can't wear hats; they just don't suit me. So it's not even worth.
We'll find you one, bro.
You don't
do
get
it, Bobby Firmino, innit? Just do it for Firmino and just dye your hair red, bro. You might do that, innit?
I might have to. Got a barber appointment this weekend, which I can't wait for. I'm gonna feel like a new man.
See, all that hair talk's all overrated over there, bro.
Really, I know exactly what you mean, brother.
No need for that.
That's why I've got the hat on, bro.
So, obviously, in a sort of 35-45 minutes, Liverpool are going to be playing. So, just going to quickly share with you the confirmed lineup, and then we're going to quickly talk about the Brighton game that's coming up. So, confirmed lineup is Alisson in goal, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, and Williams, who it seems will be playing left back, Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Keita, and then the front three of Ox, Salah, and Firmino. So, Spoony, I'll come to you first. What's your thoughts on the starting lineup?
Nico Williams came on at left back the other day. Maybe Andrew Robertson's picked up a knock or something like that. Great to see Naby starting. Great to see Ox in the team as well. Just good to get minutes. I like when Ox plays. I like how direct he is. I think I actually prefer him playing in the midfield three, but I'm glad to just see him on the pitch. He gives everything. Again, it's another. That's how good we are at the moment, that we can just shuffle the pack a little bit. It's a shame that Nico Williams is not left-footed, but other than that, I'm happy.
Yeah, just before I come on to you, Matt Drifty, just got a question from Kazim Rahman. So how damning will it be and damaging if FSG don't spend for 2 summers in a row, even after winning the Champions League and the Premier League? We've kind of covered this one already. So Spoony's of the opinion that we have to trust in Klopp and Edwards because of how far they brought us, etc. And we kind of don't know what's going to happen yet. It's still early, very early in the transfer window. The window doesn't actually shut until the 5th of October. And Matt and Drifty and myself will echo in that as well, but saying we would like to see someone come in. And Spoony said he'd like to see someone come in, but again, we can't really judge it now until the window's over. And we also have to look at what other teams do as well. So it'll be interesting to see.
The Thiago one is the one that does because as I was telling you before, from a few people who I've been seeing talk about it, and obviously Grizz, who we've had as a guest, said we know someone within the club. We've actually agreed on everything except the payment structure, and apparently that's the only sticking block at the moment. And apparently they want to pay him. They want to pay over the course of 3 seasons. So 30 million over 3 seasons. I can't lie. What Spoony's saying about trusting them, I do agree, but I don't even think it's Edwards or Klopp on this one. I think this is FSG being tight. And I'm sorry, you can't ask a club to take 30 million over 3 years. I know it's a pandemic and I know it's hard times and all that stuff, but you can't turn around and say, well, look, we're going to take arguably your best player and we're going to make you wait 3 years for 30 million. This isn't 80, 90 million like Pepe or something like that. Like, come on, like, our FSG have to put their hand in their pocket at some point and just be like, do you know what? Here's a present for, or even if it's a present to Klopp, and be like, look, you've got all the success on like 0, you know what I mean, net spend or whatever you want to call it. Here's just a little gift. Do you know what I mean? And in football terms, 30 mil is not a lot of money, pandemic or not.
No, so, especially if you think, Drifty, that Liverpool in a position where they can sell Shaqiri and recoup a chunk of that. If they sold Lovren, they might get a chunk of that. Harry Wilson, again, he's going to be another good 20 odd million. But again, because we don't know like all of the details, I'm just holding fire. But for certain, Thiago will be a perfect addition to our squad. He comes in, and that's the kind of signing that captures the imagination, not because he's a name brand, just because of what he brings to the team and how he plays.
Indeed. Drifty the Sense Talk on YouTube. Shout out to Lee Chappie, aka the person who looks more like Jamie Vardy than Jamie Vardy looks like himself.
Yes,
shout out to Lee.
Yes, bro.
Lee's the man. We've had him on as well. Hopefully we'll have him on in the future because the guy is brilliant. All right, so Drifty, while I'm with you, Drifty, the match this evening. What's your thoughts on the lineup? I know you don't do score predictions because you're not pessimistic. But
no, I don't do score predictions because I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, go on.
So what's your thoughts on the game and the starting lineup?
So just quickly run with the lineup again. Ox is in, right?
Ox is playing on the left of the 3, I believe.
Oh, you know I love Ox, but I don't like him wide though. You know what? It's mad because I watched how Brighton played against Arsenal, and they were really good. And then I watched their last game against, was it United? Was it their last game? Who was Brighton's have quite a lot of big teams in a row.
Yeah, Man United played Bournemouth on the weekend.
Yeah, Brighton, was it Chelsea maybe then?
3-0.
I think Brighton had another big team at the weekend. I think but anyway, wasn't Chelsea. And they didn't play. Didn't play so well.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Brighton are going to turn up. I think maybe Brighton kind of feel a bit safe. Do you get what I mean? I feel like when you actually look at the table, if Brighton go down, that would be like kind of miraculous turnaround from like Villa,
or Bournemouth.
Yeah, or Bournemouth, or even West Ham. West Ham, I mean, they play really well against Chelsea, but they've been terrible in general. Yeah. So I feel like for Brighton to actually go down, there'll be a lot of things that would have to go wrong for them and for other people. Yeah. So maybe they're a bit more relaxed than they were maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago when they were thinking, you know what I mean? Right, we might go down kind of thing. So, but then again, they know they got to get as many points as possible. So they're definitely going to be on it. Do you know what I mean? They're definitely going to be on it. And at home, they're a decent team. I do expect us to win because we're better than them no matter what. But again, I hope that we're gonna be on it. Do you know what I mean? Like I said to you lot before, I'm worried we won't get to 100 points just because the motivation to just play the way we actually play has gone a bit, and the Villa game kind of showed it. And I'm just a bit worried that maybe we're gonna huff and puff a bit, and if the other team wants it more, they might get a draw out of the game. Do you get what I mean? So I hope we win. We should win. But, you know, you never know with a team that's got relegation breathing down their neck, man. It gives you confidence and that extra push that you don't normally get. So we'll see. But we should win the game. We should.
Matt, I'll come to you. What's your thoughts on the game and the starting lineup?
Yeah, so is it Nico's playing at left back, Kate is in, and did you say Henderson's playing holding alongside Wijnaldum?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? There's quite a few changes in there. I expected Naby to start, and actually was expecting Fabinho to drop out as well. So I'm not surprised there. I'm quite surprised, obviously, at the Robbo thing, but as Spoony said, maybe Robbo's injured.
He's on. Robbo is on the bench, but yeah, he did come off early last game. So
okay, what about Mane? Is Mane on the bench or is he?
Mane's on the bench. Yeah. So I'll read out the bench quickly for you. So on the bench is Adrian, Fabinho, Milner, Mane, Minamino, Robertson, Origi, Jones, and Elliott.
That's a strong bench. Do you know what? Yeah, the only little problem we may have is that left-hand side. And that's only because we haven't seen. Well, I don't think they've played together before on that left-hand side, and that's obviously Nico Williams and the Ox. Seeing how they can link up on that side, so that'll be interesting to see. And I've got a funny feeling that side will be slightly more defensive, and I think you're going to see us attack more down that right-hand side. Obviously with Trent and Henderson, even maybe drifting on Wijnaldum drifting to that side. We got more quality than Brighton. I know Brighton obviously in a dogfight, but I just think quality always shows, in my opinion, more times than not. So I can't see nothing else in Liverpool win. I think it might be slightly harder than maybe what it should be because we've got a few changes and they are kind of key changes, especially at left back and left wing spot. But I think we should beat them though.
But you know, those guys that come in they're hungry. They're trying to make a point. You know, if you're Naby Keita, you're going to be saying to him, you don't need to go and sign Thiago Silva. If you're Ox, you're turning around and going, I'm the reason you didn't need to go and sign Timo Werner. So everyone is motivated as to why they're going to, you know, add a little bit of hunger into their game. But again, you know, Brighton ain't going to make it easy. I think they're safe, but they'll know if they get something out of this game, they definitely will be safe. So there's something on it for them as well.
Definitely. I'll tell you what, I don't like Ox on the wing. I will say that. Ox can play there, but I much prefer him central though. I will say that.
Yeah, I like Ox's driving around through the middle. I think the team's good. I mean, you guys know me. It's very rarely I kind of pick against Liverpool. I expect us to win this and win this quite comfortably. Personally, I think we'll win this 2 or 3-0. I know what you're thinking, Drift. The last time I said this, we got a pipe in from City, but
I know.
Brighton aren't City. We're good tonight.
They're not City.
We're good tonight.
That's what Arsenal thought, bro.
Yeah, we definitely ain't Arsenal, bro.
Oh, we ain't Arsenal, bro. Come on, man.
we definitely ain't that horror.
And you know what? So. To be fair though, Arsenal are playing a lot better now. So you know what I mean.
Congrats, that was a good drew yesterday. They drew yesterday. Congrats to them.
Yeah. How many points are they behind us again? What is it, like 30 something?
They're close to relegation. Yeah, they're close to relegation. They
can never talk to us. They can't talk to us.
Yeah.
I can't even count that much.
Yeah. So got a super chat here from Mackenzie. Sorry if I butcher your name, but Florival. Liverpool should sign Kai. I presume that's Kai Havertz, false number 9 and creative midfielder. I'll chime in quickly on this one. I think Kai Havertz is good. I don't see enough consistency from him to warrant the price tag at the moment. But he's definitely a quality player. I mean, Matt, what's your thoughts on Kai? Well, between 80 and 100 mil, they're saying.
He's going to Chelsea, apparently.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If Chelsea sign Havertz, then they're back on this scamming thing, innit? Because you don't sign Ziyech, Werner, and Havertz all in a pandemic. I'm sorry, I don't care what you say. That's madness.
My concern would be more to do with what about the defence. I don't think Chelsea's problem and is scoring goals at the moment. I think their problem is shoring up, kind of like how we were.
I was going to say
you know, maybe when, you know, Jurgen first took over from Brendan Rodgers, I mean, that season we scored over 100 goals and it still wasn't enough to win the league. Do you know what I mean? So strikers win games, but defenses win leagues, and defenses win titles. So that's what, you know, when you go and spend 70 odd million on a defender and 60 odd million, 2 world records on a goalkeeper and a defender, it's because the club identified you need to get it right at the back. You know, there's your foundation. Anyway.
They're only benching in the gym right now.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
No leg days, just all bench, you know what I mean?
They're just walking and twerking because the legs can't hold up the body. So they're struggling at the moment.
What, better Lacazette's, yeah? Better Lacazette's out there. Better Lacazette's out there, bro.
They're tip drilling and that.
Yeah. So I got another super chat from Michael Ramsey. Liverpool need a better bench next season. No Lovren, Matip, Oxencater is ever a sick donkey.
You're gonna set Matt off now, Michael.
I'll be honest. The last 3. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm Lovren's biggest fan. You obviously all know that, and I think we can upgrade on Lovren. The other 3, I'm sorry, I don't want to see them leave the club anytime soon. I think that's crazy talk, personally.
Yeah, that's mad. I can't.
No, they don't need to go. They don't need. Remember when I was saying to you yesterday, Matt? Yeah, the only way I would accept Ox leaving, as much as I would never want it to happen, is if one of our midfielders, they said they have to sacrifice to bring in Thiago. And I thought about all the midfielders we have, and I thought maybe he's the one that is the most expendable, if that's the right way to put it. And you lot know I love Ox, so this isn't shade on him, but Gini, Naby, Hendo, Fabinho, they all, I think, have a better purpose in the team. So that's the only. But I would still be angry because I'd be like, we shouldn't sell. You know what I mean?
No, because the beauty of Ox, unlike all of our other midfielders, he can play forward as well. So the club Jurgen Klopp will look at it and go, he's almost like a 2-for-1. So I think that in some ways, even though it might make him expendable as a midfielder, as a player, it doesn't make him expendable,
that's true,
because you know, he could play left hand, and he's very 2-footed, so he could play right hand side of the 3 in midfield or left hand side of the 3 in the midfield. He could play right of the 3 up front or left of the 3 up front. He could even play in the middle depending on the formation, because if we ever wanted to play a 4-2-3-1, he could play in the middle of the 3 at that time, or he could play right at that 3. So I think that he's very, very versatile, and Jurgen Klopp will know that as well. So I totally agree with how you can look at him. If you're just looking at him as a midfielder, thinking how expendable he could be, but I think in a squad, you always need those players that can go and do more than one job. Always,
100%.
Always.
And I love Ox. I don't want to see him go. I know what FSG are like. It's always sell to buy. So I'm like, well, who they're going to get rid of then if we're going to buy somebody? Do you know what I mean?
I think the thing with Ox as well, again, I think all of us will agree his best position's through the middle. However, when he's played on the wing this season, the Southampton game, he got the breakthrough goal in that game. And we were struggling before that.
Brilliant.
The game against Bournemouth, Henderson with a beautiful pass over the top. Good. He got that from the wing as well. So although his overall gameplay might not be fantastic from the wing, his numbers and his goal scoring, he's a goal scoring threat from that position. So maybe we may have to look beyond just how he plays there. Obviously, again, I'm not going to sit here and say I wouldn't want an out-and-out winger to come in if Mane or Salah are not there, but Ox to do a job now and again might not actually be the worst thing, because he puts up goals and he's a goal threat from that position. Because unlike Mane, who's going to probably beat a man and then put it past the keeper, Ox might just shift it and then let one go and the keeper's not saving it. That goal
against City, or the goal a couple of seasons ago against City.
Yeah.
You know, so he has scored big goals in big games. It's not like he comes on and scores the 5th goal when you're winning 4-0. He scored very important goals that Bournemouth game, that was really tight, if my memory serves me correctly. We might have been under the cosh a little bit. He scored, and then it just released the tension, just like the Southampton game earlier this season. So I think in many ways, I think he's invaluable, because as a midfielder, he gives us something that none of the others really do. I mean, Naby Keita gives it in a different way with his passing ability, but with his actual ball carrying, Ox is the only one that will get the ball and break the line with the ball still at his feet. And I think the club know that. Jordan doesn't do that. Fabinho doesn't do that. Naby doesn't really do that. Genie doesn't do that. That's what Ox does. So depending on your opponent, you're going to look and say, this is a game that when they do squeeze and press us, he can break a line with pace and power too. So anyway, I'm in the Ox.
You know what, sir, just before we go on, because while we're doing the Ox love, I might as well chime in as well, because you might know I love Ox. One thing people forget as well is what's so good about the way we recruit is the mentality side of things. And I look at Ox and I saw a list of the horrendous injuries that this man has had to deal with. What is he, 25? He's got the type of injuries you would think that a war vet would have had. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, there's one of his injuries where apparently the thigh bone and the muscle completely detached and ripped apart from each other. How was there even space in your leg for that to even happen? Like, and he's come back every single time. He hasn't even really lost much pace. He's still determined. He was the one keeping spirits up during the season when he couldn't even play. Do you get what I mean? So the mentality of Ox is outstanding. It's next level. Level. So it's not just about who he is on the pitch. It is about his personality as well. The guy, he's just an amazing all-round footballer. So I just wanted to throw that in.
I mean, you just a little bit more sprinkling on the sprinkling. I mean, that the last major injury he got, I think it was in the Roma game in the Champions League. Look how he got it. Like, battling back to win a ball that most right midfielders at that time wouldn't have. And I think the manager looks at that and says, you know something, most players wouldn't have got injured in that way, but you did because of what you was trying to give the team. Anyway, big up Ox. If he ever sees it, he deserves all the love. Well done.
He does,
all the time.
Definitely.
So, Spoony, I'm going to play something right now, and then we're going to ask for your reaction.
Cool.
Give me 1 sec.
Oh my god!
Just to give anyone in the comments who doesn't understand what that video was, I'm just going to spread a bit of context there. So, obviously, DJ Spoony is one of the world's best DJs, and he was DJing at Old Trafford. Yep, that's right, Manchester United's home ground, Old Trafford. And he obviously had a death wish that day because instead of just playing any other track, he picked out Liverpool's anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone," and played it around Old Trafford. And obviously, you saw from one of the fans in the video, there was a few people there less than impressed. So obviously, Spoony, when this happened, it was trending all over the internet and everything. Apart from you having a death wish and just being an adrenaline junkie, what possessed you to do that?
No, you know what? If I'm honest, right, Cal, it was one of those moments where I think the devil just got in me, right? Because you absolutely know you shouldn't do it, but there's a little bit of rogue in it. As a football fan, it's banter. Like, you're allowed to do that stuff, and I may not have ever got the chance to do that again, and I know I would have regretted it because I love a joke. I'm just like anyone else. I love a joke. I love a practical joke, and it was just too good to resist. It was too easy not to do that and to take that opportunity. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny because I'd done that event. It was a rugby event, and I'd done it the previous 3 years, and they've never asked me to come back and do it since. But you know, if that's the reason, then so be it. But listen, I mean, a couple of Manchester United fans afterwards, like, we're having a bit of battle on Twitter, and I said, let me just stop and ask you one question. If you had the opportunity to play Glory, Glory Manchester United at Anfield, would you do it? And they all said yes. And I said, well, that's it. I just put my flag in the ground first. Do you know what I mean? And that was it. You know, I didn't sort of go and, you know, desecrate a statue of Sir Alex Ferguson or Matt Busby, which would have been disrespectful. That was just fans going, I've got on top of the mountain. I'm putting my team colours in here. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, what was funny, I had fans all Australia and Brazil and North America saying, listen, I ain't got a clue who you are, but I've heard about what you've done and I absolutely love you. So, you know, that was it. But his reaction made it brilliant. His reaction made it all worthwhile.
It was worth it for that alone. Yeah, that's proper behind enemy line, boy. Capture the flag.
I mean, Spoony, you call it making a joke. I see it is the same way as you walking up to a lion and slapping a lion in the face. You got to be brave to do it.
It wasn't as bad as that. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had been DJing in a Manchester derby and it was full of actual Manchester United fans, bona fide fans, as opposed to fans that supported, you know, Salford rugby team. But listen, at the end of the day, we rang out "You Never Walk Alone" in Old Trafford. It's there, it's done now. No one can't take that away from us. You know what I mean? Yeah. And anytime anyone says anything to anyone who's a Liverpool fan, you could just say, "But we played "You'll Never Walk Alone" in Old Trafford, so just Sata." Do you know what I mean?
in its entirety as well. Usually as a DJ, you mix in songs, but you let this run right to the end.
And I went ultra feisty because I dipped it out as well. Because there was Leeds fans in the stadium, and obviously the rivalry between Leeds and Manchester United is almost as great as Liverpool and Manchester United. Yeah. So it was one of those cases of, you know, I always get this saying the wrong way around, but the friend of an enemy is my friend, or whatever it is. They just said, well, boy, if you're against Man United, we're with you. And they were just singing out. So yeah, that was fantastic.
Nah, that's quality, man.
That was brilliant. I mean, apart from "You'll Never Walk Alone," Matt and Drifty, what song would you play out at Manchester United at Old Trafford if you could?
Ooh. You never.
What song just tells someone how much of a dickhead they are? I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
think.
That's a tough one still, Carl.
No, actually, do you know what? Let's just keep it in. What do you call it? I'll probably drop flipping "Ole Ole Ole" or something like that. Just get everyone. You know what I'm saying? Just get the flag going. I don't know, man.
It's true.
You can't top that, though. You can't top that. You cannot top. You'll never walk along playing at Old Trafford. You cannot top that. It doesn't matter what you want to do. You cannot top that. That is just like, you know, I don't know. That would be like flipping North Korea getting to play their national anthem at the inauguration of the American president or something. Like, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. Like, how do you beat that? You can't. Like, you can't.
Can I ask you, Matt? Right, when you heard that's what happened, did you go, no way, did someone actually do that?
Yeah, no, for real. Because I was like, for someone to play that at Old Trafford, you know, at OT, like "You'll Never Walk Alone," that is brazen. Brother, I give it to you. That is ratings, bro. That's ratings. That is ratings.
It sounds like a lie. If there were no internet, you'd be like, "No, that never happened." What?
That's what I was gonna say. And the fact that when you saw the guy as well, it's the guy's reaction as well. That's what killed it. I was like, I was looking to go ham, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's jokes. Still, that's jokes.
No, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, the first time I saw it, I thought, someone just edited over it. And then as the video kept on circulating, I was like, oh no, he's actually just played the tune there. I was like, ratings. I hope you got home safe, but ratings.
Spoony, you didn't go one deeper and reload it though, did you? You didn't do it a little. I'll pull it to the TLP team.
Come on, mate. You can't slap the line in the face and then slap it again, bro.
Let me just wheelie.
Put all the bashment sort of.
Liberty. Yeah.
So Yo Tony in the comments has said he'd play Tupac Hit 'Em Up.
Still, that's a good shout.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's aggressive. I'm not gonna lie. That would be quite aggressive to tell.
You know what?
So staying on the topic of music, so obviously Spoony, you're one of the world's best DJs. So I'm gonna read a couple of Liverpool results from this season, and I want you to tell me the first song that comes to your mind when I say this result.
Wow. Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot here. So Liverpool 3, Manchester City 1 in the Premier League.
Outstanding.
Okay. Drift, Matt, what song you got for that?
I'll go with Tupac Hit 'Em Up.
Probably Nas Ether, you know.
That's mad. I was gonna go Jay-Z Takeover. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna go Jay-Z. Yeah, I was. LFC, we run this rap. Just change ROC to LFC and then just run with it.
I like that.
True.
All right, Leicester City 0, Liverpool 4.
Ooh.
Wow. No, that doesn't quite work. See, if I'd swap my answers over, I would go outstanding on that one, and I would go 3 is the magic number for the Leicester game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was an outstanding performance, especially Trent. Wow.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
So someone in the comments has already put the song. I went for Skepta Shutdown for that one.
Big.
Matt, who you got?
Remember, I used shut down last time.
Well, you got this time.
I'll probably say for me, you know what? So Solid Dilemma. No lyrics, just bassline. Are you mad? Dilemma, fam. Dilemma.
Like that.
Yeah, that's big. I'd go Stormzy, Shut Up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're better than us. Shut up. Better than us? Somebody that shut up.
You said we couldn't win the league? Shut up.
All right, I'm going to change the mood up slightly now. So Manchester City 4, Liverpool 0. I'm going with Khalees. I hate you so much right now. I'm going way back with this one.
I've got this one. I can't remember this by. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I was thinking of that as well. Oh my God, I swear to you, that was going through my head, you know.
Anfield Road then said Oxide Neutrino up middle finger for that result.
For real.
You know what, yeah? No, I was kind of upbeat after that. So I'm going to go Whitney Houston. It's not right, but it's okay. I'm going to
That's a good one.
It's so true. Because you're right. Because I was like, boy, yeah, we took licks, but it's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a great one. Yeah.
This is a good one. Scoop on Football said it doesn't matter Wyclef featuring The Rock. That's a shout. Here's another one. Murderer by the big man himself. Butcher fan. Murderer.
Yeah, I mean, once you, because of the whole reggae and sound clashes, you could go Tenorsaw, Ring the Alarm.
Yeah,
that's another one that could go in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Abdish Chowdhury, Bob Marley, everything's gonna be all right. I'll be honest, I did
Shout.
listen to that song that night. Obviously, you know, I was upset after that. I was ringing out the Bob Marley that night.
Needed
I
to,
can't lie.
Fuming. We were fuming. I know Jiff was the
Yeah.
only one. Funny enough, that was actually kind of upbeat. No, not upbeat, but Jiff, you were just saying to us, like, do you know
Cool.
what? I know we lost, yeah, but like, we're champions. Like, we weren't really on it tonight. It's one of those games. But obviously, me and Kyle were just like, we understand it. But at the same time, I think it's because we've just lost in that manner. Like 4-0, you know, and it could have been 5. And I just think, yeah, the players just kind of just let Klopp down. You can see Klopp's response in it in the interviews and that he was fuming, bro, fuming.
Remember that game could have gone another way. We had chances early, we didn't take them. You know,
So Salah hit the post, didn't it?
Yeah, he hit the post.
Yeah.
I think Mane totally lost his bearings and headed it back to the person who was crossing it rather than heading it into the net. Do you know what I mean? But
some of their goals were jammy as well. So
I mean, Raheem's one was going wide.
Yeah, that's true.
His first touch was ridiculously terrible, but it just set him up, and now they're acting like he did it on purpose. Is what it is, man.
And the last game we're going to touch on is Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. What song sums that?
That's got to be Queen, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah.
Has to be. Has to be. That goes about saying. Yeah, that goes about saying.
Shout.
That goes about saying.
We're all going on that. All hands in the middle for that one.
We're in. All hands in. That brings us to the end of the show today. I mean, Spoony, I know you have a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. We're just going to put our first... I feel elated about this, but this week I got an email saying that I've now got 1,000 subscribers. And I was like really excited. It was that 8-year-old Christmas Eve feeling again. So we're going to put... I did a big stream a couple of weeks ago called 50 Years of Black British Excellence. And we're gonna put that show on there in stages, in parts. So yeah, go onto YouTube, obviously posting on Insta. You might see me in a Liverpool shirt or two on Twitter or something, but I know nothing.
Good. So guys, obviously you know Spoony's a Liverpool fan. Please go and support him. Let's get him up to 2,000 very, very quickly, guys, and then more in the future. So I mean, where can they find you on Instagram, Spoony?
At DJ Spoony, at DJ Spoony, at DJ Spoony. Yeah, no one else wants that name. So
guys, you all know what to do. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, DJ Spoony.
Really
we don't say that lightly,
bro.
You're taking your time out. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we're just happy that there's more Liverpool fans out there that we get to speak to. We love it.
He's a centre off. He's a number 4. Watching I'm watching score. Impossible. Come as you like. He's Virgil van Dijk. So
I mean, that's probably the song you play if you ever get to DJ at Etihad. Then I think that seals it.
Yeah. I'll find another song for them, look.
Brilliant. But as always, guys, thank you very much for joining us, whether you've watched or listened. We really appreciated it. As always, check us out on social media where we'll be giving you updates as to what we'll be doing next. We will be going live after the game. We won't be going live during the game. We'll be going live after the game for the post-match reaction. So as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, continue to support us. Thank you very much for everything that you do for us. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll see you soon, guys. Take care.
Peace out, peeps.